lead together, embrace change, enhance everyone's journey. The 3 core principles of SmartStop, a leader in self-storage real estate across North America, reinforce why we're proud to bring you SheEO Lead-In, the podcast featuring curated conversations with powerful women sharing their impactful wisdom. It's a self-knowledge, self-discovery, and self-preneurship audio storage vault created by and for women. SmartStop's presentation of SheEO Lead-In begins right now.
Have you ever felt that you as a woman may not appear to measure up when you see incredible women in strong roles? You may be surprised when hearing from women in these positions and how we all share many of the same challenges. Thank you for joining us for the SheEO Leading-In podcast with Rebecca Jones as we share the journeys of women.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Jones, your host of SheEO Lead-In. We are on an exploration together to discover more about the personal journeys of incredible women in both career and life. We all have paths to share that sometimes take incredible turns, deep resilience, and courage to navigate. My hopes are that the challenges shared here encourage women to take leaps of faith and growth when a journey feels too difficult or unachievable. There is great strength deep within each one of us. These stories are meant to share the ways strong women have taken their dreams to strive and thrive to new heights, despite their sometimes rocky paths, and found a way to lead in. Today, we're here with Laura Munkholm, the president and co-founder of Walla. How are you today, Laura?
Hey, I'm doing great, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, I'm really excited to hear all about what you're doing, but I want to kind of start out with a fun short story that people may not know about you.
Okay. Quick little short story. First of all, I am a mom of 2. I've got a 13-year-old and an 11-year-old. And I am new to parenting teens on top of a still relatively baby or toddler business at this point. I started my software company 4 years ago. But my mom asked me recently what it's like being a mom of teenagers. And I told her, well, I've learned that my side part is decidedly uncool. And my dance moves are from the olden days, and I now am not allowed to pick out clothes for my daughters. So that's the phase of life I'm in.
Well, I hate to not give you any encouragement, but because my kids are in their 20s, but I have to tell you, they go through this teenage weird sort of transition. But they come back. They come back to thinking you're pretty cool. It just takes a while.
Oh gosh, well that's good. Good.
So
to hear.
it's gonna be a hard middle, but then you'll get on the other side.
All right, amazing. And
all right,
side parts will be in style by then.
There you go. So let's talk about a little bit about you. Do you have a word that describes who you are?
Yeah, actually, I've been asked this question before, and it's light. I definitely am a person who loves to have sunshine on my shoulders. I love to walk in a room and try and brighten the space that I'm in. And just generally speaking, I find that it's one of the gifts I have is to lighten a situation. So that would be my word.
Wow, that's really beautiful. And I love that because trust me, I think now everybody loves that a little bit more because there's so much negativity and just darkness all around us. So let's talk a little bit about how long you've been in your current career, and then also what's the why behind what you're doing?
Sure. So I actually started out teaching yoga on the side of my sales career in my 20s and found that practice because I was a college athlete and had many injuries and surgeries. And yoga was something I could do to still build strength and not hurt my body. And so it was this little fun side hustle that I did just because it made me happy and I got to spend time doing what I loved. And then I had an amazing opportunity. The brand Yoga 6 was starting here in San Diego about 12 years ago or so. And I had been teaching with one of the founders, teaching yoga at her studio, and she said, listen, we need somebody who has a sales and, business background, sales operations. We're planning to scale this brand, and I'd love for you to come in and run the first couple studios, get them profitable, and help us design, essentially the sales operations for the roadmap, and, for all of these studios we're going to open. So I took a big leap from my very successful sales career and jumped into the full-time role of running yoga studios. And over that couple of years, I got really good at the back end, the technology that supported the studios. And I realized that there was quite a lack of technology. And there was really one main platform that every fitness business used, and it was archaic and very complicated. So I ultimately left running the studios and decided to start doing software consulting for fitness businesses. I saw that they didn't know how to use this software, did some management and sales consulting, but ultimately tried to help them leverage the tools that they had to make decisions in their businesses and grow. And I ended up partnering. The company was called MindBody, the software company, which probably many of you have used their app and booked yoga classes or, cycling or boxing or whatever. And I approached MindBody and essentially said, hey, all of these people have the same challenges on your software. And they really need a guide and they need each other. So I pitched to them that I would start an online community for the business owners that use their software, and they agreed. We built it, we scaled it, it was fantastic. But ultimately, the technology was not what we needed it to be. So I had a good friend. I was actually an advisor in his fitness startup, and had introduced him to MindBody, and he sold that startup to MindBody. And after his earnout, he and I were chatting and just saying, like, gosh, it's just not getting better as a platform. We really need to do something. And he had the background building the software. I had the industry, the sales operations experience. And so we decided to start Walla. And that was in February of 2020, so about a month before COVID, which sounds crazy, but it actually ended up being the greatest gift because we had that year and a half or so to build the software, and really studio owners had time to just pour their thoughts into what they needed and what was missing. And it became very apparent at that moment that technology was so far behind in our industry, and they needed it more than ever during COVID. So we had a great moment to capture that interest and desire and frustration and go to market.
So you were able to take what was there in the archaic, as you put it, software, and then build something completely different that you knew could be proved up and could meet all the needs of the industry.
Yeah. I mean, in a very concise way, yes.
So kind of a fun thought about this. A lot of women that I speak to talk about how they're probably their own worst enemy because they're afraid to take chances. What propelled you forward on this?
I think a couple things. Really, one was I had tremendous support from my husband and my family, and my kids were at an age where I felt like, okay, they're a little bit more independent. I have this moment in time to risk where I can really just dive in wholeheartedly. So family support was really huge in giving me the confidence, but also I think my expertise and my sheer volume, the amount of time I'd spent in the industry speaking to business owners, I was so confident that I understood the use case and the frustrations in a way that I was just confident I could build a solution. And as long as I had somebody who had the technical chops to execute on that build, I could make it happen. And I just had that confirmed over and over and over again for me. So I guess I would say I was lucky that I didn't doubt myself in what was needed. I doubted myself in how to run a company.
Right.
But I knew what the product needed to do.
So let's talk a little bit about success and failure, because certainly you could have failed. It would have been pretty easy, but I think having that connection with the builder of the software probably put you in a better position because you were daily working on this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think our relationship, especially at the beginning and with the kind of key early employees we had, was critical. I don't I don't know that any of us would have let the others fail at that point. We were pretty committed to making it happen, and also the validation we kept getting from the early clients we had and the beta testers that what we were building was spot on. It definitely made the grit possible, and we just had to kind of heads down work our tails off for a little while to get the product up and running. And I mean, failure can happen at any, there were a million little failures that happened throughout that phase of the company. But I think everyone had a real attitude towards the end goal and a very clear why. Like, we are solving a major problem in a market that's been underserved for a long time. And the beauty of our industry is the entrepreneurs, it's typically small to medium sized businesses, sometimes franchisees, but really they're people that are doing a lot on their own, and they need this support because what they're doing is propelling, an industry forward that drives health and happiness and wellness in their communities. They're really, really passionate people. So it's easy to get stuck in I'm not going to let this fail because these people need it so much.
Well, and I think too, the timing with the kind of downtime, with people not being full blown in, the everyday business, having that little slow time probably gave you some more time to work out the kinks. So the small failures didn't end up being big failures. What do you think about that?
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that, yes, I agree. It gave us the time. One thing that was a big lesson that I had to learn in software that I don't know, I guess I didn't anticipate was software is never done. So you just never get to we did it. We accomplished all of the feature requests everybody had, and the software is beautiful and it's perfect, and here you go. I don't know. I think it was a shock to me that no matter how much time, no matter how much energy you put into this, people want more, and there's change, and you just constantly have to keep going and keep building. So there's never really okay, we built the perfect product and it's on the market.
You see, when I get an update on my phone, I go, oh no, what am I going to have to relearn? So I'm just kind of wondering, do your customers feel that way? Or do they think, oh yes, my changes are going to be integrated now?
The latter. I think because most of the time, it's little nuances that they're asking for in the software. So they're like, oh, finally this feature arrived that we wanted. But I'm sure they have moments where there's a little bit of an eye roll of, okay, what do I have to learn this month now?
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about work and life and balance, because I think I know as a busy mom, it's very hard to figure that out sometimes. I personally feel like sometimes I'm crushing it. I'm doing so great. And then the next day, oh my gosh, I'm failing miserably. So what do you feel about all that?
Yeah, early in my sales career, I remember very distinctly being at this networking event, and it was actually all female CEOs in the biotech industry. So it was I can't remember the networking event, but it was them talking about this topic, balance. And one of them said, before we even start this conversation, I just want to throw the word balance off the table. Yeah. She said, when you think about balance, you think about a board, a teeter-totter kind of laying there, and it's perfectly flat, balanced. But in reality, it's constantly tipping, right? Like, we constantly are giving 100% here, and the other is not getting much from you, and vice versa. And that was really helpful permission to know that it's not going to be perfect all the time. And there are often going to be times I have to sacrifice in one side, whether it's motherhood or friendship or work or, whatever other bucket I'm kind of holding or juggling in the air. But I think what I've learned, especially since starting this company, is setting expectations and communicating with the people in each one of those buckets. So there's not resentment, because it really can be a burden on a family when I'm traveling all the time, or it can be hard on my work when I'm like, no, you know what? It's my daughter's Christmas pageant tomorrow and she's the main, she got the lead role and I'm just not going to miss it. So no, I can't make the meeting that I normally would. But yeah, I've definitely learned the hard way that having to set expectations early and often is the only way to get through that, for me at least.
Let's get back to that in just a minute after this Smart Stop.
SmartStop knows the winning connection is when we elevate success together. SmartStop Self Storage, a California company with nearly 200 properties and over 15 million square feet of rentable storage in the US and Canada, is committed to positively impacting the communities we serve on the national and local level. By aligning our core principles of leading together, embracing change, and enhancing everyone's journey with local initiatives focused on education, health, and social welfare, we all elevate together. Through financial and strategic partnerships with nonprofits and prestigious organizations such as Cloudcast Media, Arrow McLaren IndyCar, Breast Cancer Research Foundation, Wounded Warrior Project, USC Athletics, the Brampton Steelheads, MMA fighters and boxers, and other unique athletes, we aim to foster a sense of unity and pride within the communities we serve, creating a shared identity and generating a positive atmosphere. To learn more about our core values, our locations, and career opportunities, please visit us at smartstopselfstorage.com. SmartStop, elevating success together.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about grace for ourselves, because I think a lot of times we're so hard on ourselves, like, oh, I am not missing that, or I'm missing that meeting, and shoot, now I'm failing because now I've fouled something up in some way. I think remembering to have grace for ourselves is so important when we look at the big picture, because these small little pauses, oh, maybe you didn't get that to today, but I can do it tomorrow. I think that's something that we always need to think about too, don't you?
For sure. And I would say it's probably the hardest. I think for women, we naturally are caretakers and are considering other people before ourselves. And it's easy to just, be hard on ourselves. And I struggle with that for sure. I don't think I have the silver bullet there, but it's little reminders. I have actually a Post-it note right by my computer that says, look down the mountain, because I'm, as many of us are that are, leaders in companies or in organizations, we're constantly achieving and climbing and trying to hit the next mark. And I want to remember to look down the mountain at how far I've come, and that helps give me grace, because it's pretty amazing sometimes to be like, wow, I used to be a yoga teacher making $25 a class or whatever, and now I have all of these hundreds and hundreds of studios all over the country using my software. So that's
super cool. Okay, so let's talk about barriers. And as a woman, do you think you have specifically challenges or barriers just because you're a woman?
Of course, I absolutely do. I think there are times, for example, during fundraising, we've raised a few rounds of venture capital for Walla, and there are literally moments in VC meetings where they will ask directly my business partner a question because he's a male, and I'm the one who, I'm pitching something or I'm talking about it, and they'll respond by looking at him and asking the question directly to him. So of course I have things like that happen. I've taken the mindset from an early age. Actually, I honestly think I was set up well for this, because I had 3 brothers and I was an athlete, and I was playing sports with boys all the time growing up. And so very often it was me and a bunch of boys, and I had to prove myself, or I had to, fight a little bit harder. And so I think I developed a little bit of a callus that it didn't bother me as much that I would be underestimated in a situation. And
I love that you say that, because I think that all the time.
Yes.
And I love just sitting there and waiting. And then when it's time for me to speak, I kind of surprise people sometimes.
Exactly. I think it can
like
end up
that.
being a superpower for women because, when you're underestimated and you blow people's minds, they are going to remember that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think
Totally
often,
agree.
I think often too, when you walk into a room or a virtual room and you are the only woman, people will notice. Like, you can hide in a sea of a bunch of people that look exactly like you, but if just physically, I look different than everybody else in this room. So there is some sort of attention that you get no matter what. And it's really just how you use that.
So let's talk a little about role models and mentors.
Okay. Two big ones. When I first became a yoga teacher, the woman who ran my yoga teacher training was the first woman I had ever heard about or heard of talking about the business of yoga and how there was no shame in making a profitable business and asking for money when you deserved it. And it felt very hush hush in the yoga industry, and everybody hated the big corporate yoga businesses. So she really taught me what it could be like to marry the two passions I had, which were business and yoga, and gave me the confidence that was possible. And then now I am a huge fangirl of Sara Blakely, and I have been for a long time. I'm sure many of you listening follow her on Instagram or just love watching her just honest, raw, rise through her business and building something, and now a second company that is just authentic. I love her authenticity and her ability to talk about the failures and the mistakes and give you permission to know that you're going to make those and it's okay.
That's great. So let's kind of transition into lessons that you've learned specifically that you'd like other young women to hear about, and then also how they could apply those to their life.
Yeah. I love this question because especially talking to younger women or women in college, I think we all have this idea that people at the top have it figured out. They've solved the problems. They have all the answers. And it continues to astound me that even people that I have on a pedestal half the time don't know what they're doing. They are just taking risks, taking chances, trying new things, and learning. And so I think the lesson in that is the risk taking is part of the process. The chances are part of the process. It's really, if you can apply the lessons you learn through that, if you can take the mistakes, if you can take the failures and the whoops that we really should have turned right when we turned left, and apply it to the next time and don't quit. So yeah, nobody's got it figured out. It's just like,
well, I think part of that's just being brave.
Yes. That's
getting through the fears. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm terrified of heights. So I force myself to do things where height are involved and I have to overcome it.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, I just push through it. I mean, I could be sweating, wanting to cry, feeling sick to my stomach, but I literally push through it because I know that's when I'm growing.
Yeah.
That's when I'm actually becoming a better version of me.
It's beautiful. I think it's one of those quotes, nothing big ever happens inside your comfort zone. You have to step outside it.
Yeah, that's the biggest recommendation that I make to all young people is push outside of your comfort zone. Nothing that's dangerous physically, but, try things that maybe you don't know that give you a little bit of fear, because really that's when you grow the most. And sometimes you might actually find something that you're so passionate about. Don't you think?
Yeah. One of my favorite things, I have a little 1 line a day notebook that is next to my bed that somebody gifted me when my kids were very little. And I love it. I would jot down little things they say. And when my son was probably 5 years old, he said to me, "You know what's funny, Mama? The things I love the most in life are the things that I was so scared to try." And I was like, wow. That should be like on the cover of all of our daily planners or something.
Out of the mouth of babes. That
I
is,
know, right?
It's true though. I mean, I felt that way too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are you most passionate about in your career and proud of?
I mean, the passion right now is really around my team and developing the people that I have. I'm so inspired by them every day. And it's, again, the beauty of our industry is that we're serving wellness entrepreneurs who care tremendously about their clients, changing lives. And we've attracted some amazing talent to our company who care about the same things. And now I just feel like, my kids are growing and now I have this amazing team of people that get to be my crew that I can serve and develop and really encourage as they develop in their careers. So that drives me all the time. I love seeing the barriers being broken and them figuring something out on their own for the first time. So that's passion and things I'm proud of right now. I mean, to be honest, it's been magical watching our clients continue to grow, continue to thrive as businesses, but then also start working together. And one of the things I feel that I'm most skilled at is building community and driving conversations and helping people connect with each other. And we have an online community for our business owners, and they've really stepped up and supported each other and become like accountability buddies. And I'm just so proud to see this group of clients that we've built with Walla, and now they're building friendships, hopefully lifelong friendships through their businesses.
Well, Laura, I know it sounds cliche, but it does take a village. And what you're creating is that community and that village that can help one another, be there to support one another. And when you have just a strong village, I think anything could happen.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to walk into a room, all these young women saying, what can I do? What should I do? What is my path? What would be your advice to them?
Okay, 2 quick pieces of advice. Really get clear on what lights you up. And that doesn't mean what lights you up as like a hobby, because I think a lot of people make the mistake of making their hobbies businesses and then they find out they resent their hobby and don't love it anymore. But what lights you up professionally and what challenges light you up, like delightful challenges in your life. So you can really hone in on that, figure out your skill set around that area. And the beauty of where we are in time is there are a myriad of ways you can make money doing almost anything, whether it's, coaching, building communities, technically working in a craft or a skill. But finding what lights you up and that passion, and then finding your support system around that. So there's like the inner ring of you and your inner being, your authenticity, your talents, your skills, and then the support system around you. And I will be the first to say I could not have done anything with Walla if I didn't have the support system of my family, our family's support system, the people that help take care of our kids, but also the support system that balances out my weaknesses, like the things that I'm not good at in the business. I need the support of people I can trust to step in and fill those holes and those gaps. So it's kind of creating those circles around yourself and know that it's okay to ask them for help. They're there to help you. And when you find that tribe of yours, it's pretty special.
Great advice. So what's next for you?
Oh gosh, what's next for me? I mean, obviously sell Walla for $5 billion and sail off on a yacht into the sunset. No, I honestly, the good news is I love my job. I am so content doing what I'm doing. I think we've got some big goals for growth outside of the US. So really what's next is we'll probably be spending quite a bit of time in Australia, Canada, Europe, expanding Walla, and I'll be pretty heavily involved in that. And then, I ultimately hope that we build a successful and profitable enough company that we've got all the options in the world, whether it's going public or selling the company or continuing to grow a very profitable company. I just want to be in a position, and I see us being in a position where we'll have plenty of options.
And lots of stamps in that passport.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you so much for sharing with us today. Really appreciated all you had to say, and very excited for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. It's been such a joy to talk.
Thank you so much.
Now that was powerful. We hope you've been lifted and encouraged by today's inspiring voice. Always remember that life doesn't look exactly the same for each one of us. Never stop dreaming, striving, and thriving. In future episodes, we look forward to bringing you powerful stories from amazing women who learned how to lead in to challenges. Thank you for listening and being part of our community with SheEO host, Rebecca Jones.
The incredible curated SheEO conversation you just enjoyed was brought to you by SmartStop, a leader in self-storage real estate and a company that upholds its core principles of leading together, embracing change, and enhancing everyone's journey. To learn more about SmartStop, please visit smartstopselfstorage.com.
Cloudcast Media.